Okay, so I have to be obedient and do as I was told. Um, I had an encounter last night. Not really late, but it was nighttime. Maybe like around, if I could just guess, I think it was like around 10 or so. I was on my way home from getting food, and the Holy Spirit decided to visit me. um, and I was told to pull over, and I was kind of abrasive, I guess, or objecting because it was late at night and I didn't want to pull over into an unfamiliar spot. So um, I made a deal, and it was like, I'll pull over when I get to my apartment complex. Um, and so I pulled into the apartment complex, and I parked in a secluded area, nowhere near where my actual parking spot was. And I just started praying and talking to God and praying in the spirit. And before I knew it, I found myself in a different realm, a different dimension, so to speak. It was not here on earth. I was aware of what was going on around me, but spiritually I was gone. I was not here. I was with God, and He allowed me to visit a place. The only thing I can think, that maybe it was heaven. I don't know. Like, a part of me is like, this is heaven, and the other part is like, this is something else. This is a sacred place, like where only God dwells, and maybe where He does His work. It felt like an office or something, but it was beautiful and it was massive, and there were angels on the left side and the right side of Him, and I seen it clear as day. But it was almost as if I was looking at Him, but I could not see His face. I can only see like from here on down, and He was in this big like throne chair, and it was gold and white, and the angels were like, it wasn't like wings on them, but it more was like clouds that was like holding them up and surrounding all the angels. And the angels were different colors and different like sizes, and it was so beautiful. And standing before Him, I had no words. I couldn't speak. I felt like this, but in a good way. Like, I felt like a newborn. In His presence, this time it was different. I'm always able to get in the presence of God, but this time was so different. I'm in my car, and I'm frozen. I'm like this, literally, for like 45 minutes. It had to be. And He was speaking to my heart. No, my mouth was not moving, but He knew everything that I was saying, everything that I was praying for, and how grateful I was. He felt it. And I couldn't take my eyes off of Him. And He just kept telling me to focus on Him. Don't look around, just focus on Him. And it was like I was in the physical. It's so hard to explain. It was like I was in the physical, but my this body was in the physical, but the trance that I was in, however the Holy Spirit elevated me, it took me someplace else, and I couldn't touch anything. All I could do was look, and it's like I could see, but I could still see everything around me. Like I could see what was going on in front of me, but I still had my peripheral vision, and I can see cars beside me in my reality, but I also could see that I was with God. And I just remember him saying to tell them. He just kept saying, tell them. And as much as I wanted to ask, like, tell who and tell who what, I couldn't. It's like he knew my thoughts before I even thought them. It was my first time ever presenting myself to God in a childlike manner. I have never cried like that before. And he was so gentle and so warm, and he carried me to kneel before him. I did not walk. I didn't glide. I was just there. That was the best encounter that I've ever had since walking in the faith. And God is so beautiful. Like, I didn't even see his face, but the feeling, I was shaking, like physically, like shaking, but not out of fear. I was so consumed, and I felt so good. And like, I didn't feel anything. Like, I didn't feel that I was in a body. I felt free. I felt at peace. It's a different type of love. And when it was all over, after he did what he needed to do with me, I felt like he was filling me up. When I got back home, I was so carried and so high and just uplifted. Like, he literally raised me up from the things that I was feeling, the things that I had been praying to him for. He came through and he delivered, because I always ask him, I'm seeking your face, don't hide from me. And he gave me a chance. He trusted me enough to come into his sacred place, to dwell with him. Y'all have to try him out. You gotta try him out. Oh my God. I was supposed to do this last night, but I couldn't. I was just too overwhelmed. I was so overstimulated, but in the best way. He is so real. People play around and they think that he's not real, but God is real. And he loves. His love is unmatched. It's literally matchless. I don't feel good today, but my spirit is on point. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with y'all, and I hope that you guys get to experience God the way that I've experienced him, because boy, he's great. He's great. And I love him.